Nope, it's not there. Go.
Hello, friends, and welcome in. No video this week, I guess, but we are live here for the MLB live stream right here on Fantasy Pros MLB. It's the Welsh, and it is the Joe Orrico, the not Joe Pisapia. Joe Pisapia is drinking gross things right now, but Orrico is back in action. Orrico, what's up, buddy?
I am back, man. I am very glad to be back because I've been out of commission for the last couple of weeks. And this is the PSA to everybody watching. Go have a big glass of water. Go drink a ton of water because I've been dealing with kidney stones. A lot of it's because I don't drink enough water. So make sure you guys are getting your liquids into you, man. But I've had some time to catch up on TV shows. I was able to watch The White Lotus, so there were some silver linings in there. Have you seen The White Lotus yet, Welsh?
I haven't seen The White Lotus. No, I'm watching The Handmaid's Tale right now, just finding other forms of Great Depression here. But we don't have to talk about two big forms of depression. We can talk about fantasy baseball as long as it's not your injuries. Orrico and I are here for the next hour. We're going to be answering everything that you guys got. This is exactly right. Orrico activated off of the podcasting IL. We're here for you. So here's what you got to do. Drop comments in the chat. If you want guaranteed responses, drop a super chat. Our boy Michael Jensen has already done it. He will be first of the line, the first person we talk about and talk with. But if you guys want those guaranteed stuff, yeah, baby, just drop that in those super chats. Whatever degree it is, you go front of the line. It is the skip the line pass at Disneyland or Disney World. That's what this essentially is. So you want guaranteed, do it, but don't be afraid to fill up the chat with whatever comments that you got, because we are talking fantasy baseball this whole time through. It'd be actually fun if we ever had a counter of like, how many questions have we answered in a singular show? But there's a gajillion of them, as we've got some baseball on as well, so we can live react. So, Mr. Joe Orrico, are you ready to get into this?
Let's do it, my friend. I've missed this.
Let's get in. Michael Jensen to the very tippy top picked up Robert Hassell in CBS Dynasty with Jacob Young only hitting around 210. Do you see a potential move this summer? Oh, this is a super interesting one because Robert Hassell looked cooked for many years. Essentially like the throw-in trade of the James Wood and CJ Abrams and Mackenzie Gore. Ridiculous they got all of these. Robert Hassell in AFL was like his second or third straight year playing. He had played 1 year, he got hurt another, and he came last year, and he looked pretty good. Was making some better decisions, wasn't chasing everything. He's got kind of a high stance. I always thought there might be like a little bit of a Bryce Harper kind of in him, but he never materialized. But he started just hitting. Stopped trying to destroy everything to the wall. Looked like he might be a real dude. And guess what? It's up to like 290 right now. He's in AAA. They've got a couple guys. They got Brady House and they've got Robert Hassell. I'm going to say this. I actually think there might be something there for Robert Hassell. So in a dynasty, I think it might be worth picking up, especially if it's like a free open world. If he's sitting out there, he's legitimately probably going to get a look. And for all intents and purposes, he's kind of changed as a prospect. Plus, he can steal. There is real power potential. I'm kind of into the Robert Hassell. I don't know if you know much on the Robert Hassell. Where are you at?
Just looking at what he has done this season, it's been okay. Like, he is a 96 WRC plus in AAA. He's hitting 290, a couple homers, 8 steals. He's been pretty good. The thing with Jacob Young, he's an all-world defensive outfielder, and I don't know that they're going to want to make that switch this season. So in a dynasty context, I think it makes sense to pick up Hassell. Is he going to have enough of a role in 2025 to be worth it? Probably not, but going forward, I think that move does make sense.
Yeah, so you can look at, I would say Brady House might be the guy that you want to look at he's probably not available in most dynasties. Robert Hassell was no longer like even like a top 200 or top 250 dynasty name, where he was like a top 50 guy at one point. So I understand it. I think it might be relatively worthwhile, especially if there's it's slim pickings across the board. Another super chat, our boy Thunderstud. Great to see Joey O. McLain or Adames rest of season. Ooh, Matt McLain looks stank. Looks bad. He is striking out at everything. He's making bad contact, though. There are some loud counting stats that he puts up versus Willy Adames, who has just underperformed kind of across the board. Looks like there's still some skills that could bounce back. But what say you? What would you rather have rest of season, Matt McLain or Willy Adames?
I appreciate the kind words, Thunderstud, and the super chat. But for me, it's Matt McLain. I know that the batting average and the strikeouts have been atrocious. He's batting 168. 32% strikeout rate is awful, but 5 homers and 10 steals already. And if you look at the hard hit data, you look at the batted ball metrics, the barrel rate is increased. It's 11.5%, 47% hard hit rate. The launch angle at almost 17 degrees is fantastic. And he's been underperforming all the expected numbers. Like, yeah, the expected batting average is still not good. You can only do so much when you have a 168 actual batting average, but he's been underperforming. And considering that ballpark, I think it is McLain for me.
I'm going to go Willy Adames. I'm going to go on the other side of it. I hate to do it. I don't feel really super great about either one of it. My main problem is I do think there is a buy opportunity on Matt McLain right now, in that I think he's going to get cut in a lot of spots. But there are some encouraging things on the profile. He's still hitting it really hard. He's still barreling. But I just don't know how he's going to overcome the strikeout issue. He is swinging through absolutely everything. Where I'm trying to pull up Willy Adames here for everybody, because this has been a really popular one. It's been like Willy Adames. I saw one. It was like Matt McLain, Willy Adames, or like Jacob Wilson. Who would you rather have rest of season? Adames, much better power projection at this point to go with the batting average. He has got a similar. He's got like a similar thing as Matt McLain. The underlying profile still speaks to Willy Adames. Same barrel rate as last year, essentially. Same average hard hit as last year, essentially. He's getting the ball in the air more. He's hitting the ball harder than he's actually ever done in his career. He has not added any strikeouts. It's the same as it was last year. What gives? Expected batting average is not quite there. Something I talked about in the offseason. Ballpark is a little bit unforgiving as well. And I think in my last breakdown, I think the splits were interesting too. Yeah, so check this out. This is another reason why I like him. He's hitting 270 at home, only 189 on the road. We were worried about the home split taking away from him offensively. It's on the road. I think Willy Adames is going to bounce back. So I'm a Willy Adames over Matt McLain guy, because also like the one difference between them is there's a massive strikeout issue with one of those players.
The thing what's interesting with McLain, just digging in a little bit deeper, and I apologize because I am playing a little bit of catch up. I've been out of commission for the last 10 or so days, but his swinging strike rate is exactly the same as where it's been, 10.5%, but the strikeout rate is just through the roof. Is he swinging less? Like, I don't really understand why McLain is striking out so much. He's never been like a great guy for strikeout rate, like 28%. But I feel like he should be closer to the 28% range than into the 30s. So I think that will be something that does correct over time.
I don't know. I've seen him a lot. I've seen him a ton. He swings through high fastballs, just vertical zone stuff he's not great with, and he gets attacked. He obviously has massive impact. There's big impact. You know, if he gets wood on the ball, he can hit big homers for a smaller guy. He can steal bases when he's on base. I'm just not sure he's going to get there consistently. It's a really good debate. I don't know if we're not on Twitch today. We're back here on the YouTube, but maybe we could even, I don't know if Callie is able to do it. We could do a YouTube poll. I'd be curious. Who are you in on? I think that's a great question that we had for rest of season. Matt McLain or Willy Adames? Who do you trust more? So maybe we can pop that bad boy up. All right. We got questions galore, and make sure that you guys keep dropping them in here. You want front of the line, you can drop the super chats like Michael and Thunder did, but let's get to a couple others. By the way, shout out to our boy Michael. Good afternoon. Have an awesome day. Thank you, my friend. We got RCP in the house. We got some of our friendos in here. Let's start with Troy. Troy, Eugenio or Kurtz, 12 team head-to-head categories desperately needs OBP and RBI. So Nick Kurtz got his first homer the other day. I've been saying he's not as bad as everyone looks at it, though 37% K percentage is a problem. Eugenio Suarez, huge RBI opportunities on that offense. He's massively inconsistent. What side would you want? Because I feel like Kurtz is going to speak to your OBP. Eugenio is going to speak to your RBI. So which way are you going to go?
Yeah, the OBP with Eugenio is interesting. Excuse me, because the walk rates are always pretty solid. Just the batting average being at 203 means the OBP is a 301, but he has a 330 career on base, already 12 homers. The lineup is much better. The ballpark, you favor Kurtz there, but I think I would have to go with Eugenio. As much as he is kind of inconsistent, you're still getting a 25 to 30 home runs, almost guaranteed, with probably 85 plus RBI. I think Kurtz, I agree with you that the hate went a little bit too far just because he didn't hit a home run for the first 10 days or so. You're still hitting like 270, and everybody was already done with him. But I think in this situation, Suarez would be my choice.
Yeah, I think you got to think about the team context too. Like Nick Kurtz was hitting 9, and how long, if ever, is he going to be able to move up that lineup when you got guys like Rooker and Tyler Soderstrom? Eugenio is going to hit like 5, and there's Cattell and Corbin Carroll and Pavin Smith potentially in front of him. I'm going to go with Eugenio there, just because of the RBI potential, and there's some OBP in there as well. So I'll go with Eugenio. For sure, my friends. We got that poll running if you guys want to vote on it. Willy Adames, Matt McLain. It's on the YouTube side. And hopefully you guys go and check that out. I'd be very curious at what the results are going to be. I don't know. I kind of think it could go Matt McLain because his counting stats are so freaking loud. But I think you and I both made some interesting cases for it. Let's go to Evermore. Should I drop Salvador Perez for Wells or Hunter Goodman, or don't?
I'm probably just sticking out with Sal. I think Goodman's kind of interesting, but I don't know if I really want to be investing in any Rockies. I don't know when exactly that streak is going to come to an end. I don't know how legit it is, really. Wells has been good, but also kind of inconsistent. He started hot, and then he went cold. I think you just stick with the best overall player there for me, which would be Salvi Perez.
I'm in agreement with you. I'm going to go with Salvi for sure. We got news today that Dalton Rushing is coming up to the majors. I believe they designated Austin Barnes. Did I see that correctly? But Dalton Rushing is coming up. He's been playing the outfield. He's a catcher. He was still catching in some of the end of extended spring training. So it's minor league spring training. We'll have to see what the look is going to be, but he's created some flexibility. So I think he's in that range. 2 catcher leagues, you should pick him up if he qualifies and stuff. But who'd you rather have, Dalton Rushing or Agustin Ramirez? Ramirez hitting 4 for the Marlins. Looks like he's got the everyday job for the rest of the season. We're not quite sure about Dalton Rushing, I guess, at this point of how long he can stay. But I would assume them bringing him up means that they want to get that bat in the lineup for the rest of the season. And he beat my guy, Alex Freeland, who I thought Alex Freeland would be someone they want to get up soon. But who would you rather have, Rushing or Agustin?
The gut tells me that it's Ramirez. He's making seriously fantastic contact on the ball, even when he's making outs. 12% barrel rate, 51% hard hit rate. He's already hit 4 homers. Yes, the lineup context could not be more different, but I think Ramirez is probably going to play a little bit more with Rushing. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is. Do you think they're going to just play him 2 games a week at catcher, a couple times at first, a couple times do you think they're going to mix him up like that? Because does that mess up with his development as a catcher? Long term, Will Smith is into his mid-30s. They want Rushing to be the catcher of the future. No, would they not want to just kind of prioritize his catcher reps?
Maybe, but they had kind of moved him to the outfield. He had been playing a ton of outfield, so it could just simply be flexibility. But Henry Davis did it. He was able to play in the outfield and catching. I'm not sure it really hurts his development. He might be, and maybe we're in the land of the Jordan Lawlars, where it's just, listen, these prospects are great. Let's put them in different spots that we can get that offense to help. I mean, you'd love to see the Royals do that with Jack Caglione at this point. You can play a little bit outfield. You can play first. You can DH. But maybe he's going to be similar to Jordan Lawlar, where he's just going to be out there 4 to 5 times a week in different capacity. I feel like they're not going to do anything to stunt his growth. So they got to get him out in games. So while he's here, that opens us up. Let me do this. This is kind of to Adam's question. Let me throw this into the mix. Let's throw Moises Ballesteros into this mix. So we got Agustin, we've got Rushing, and we've got Ballesteros, all catchers that did not start the season and that are now all up right now. Moises Ballesteros, the most interesting aspect of it all, outside of his hit tool being so great, is that the team is talking about playing Michael Busch, or at least they were working Michael Busch at third base, which could get him out there even more. So if that were the possibility, and he's there, what is your ordering here? Agustin, Ballesteros, or Rushing? How do you order them?
I think Ballesteros would have to be at the bottom for me. I think a big part of it comes down to the other catchers that have been doing well for the Cubs. The Cubs are a team in win now mode. I don't think that they're going to just give Ballesteros a ton of reps, considering what Kelly has done. Kelly's been fantastic. Nobody really expected it, but he has been. And even Miguel Amaya. I mean, Miguel Amaya is hitting 286 to this point of the season with a 126 WRC plus. Maybe they mix and match with some DH first base stuff. But I think with Ballesteros and Rushing, I worry more about how much they're going to play with Ramirez. I don't have that concern. So I think for me, it would be Ramirez, Ballesteros at the bottom, and then I put Rushing in the middle, I think.
I kind of lean the Rushing at the bottom, but Ballesteros, I'm not, I'm going to go with the same as you because I'm not 100% convinced yet that they are committed to Ballesteros. If they commit to Ballesteros, I think his offense could really play in, but kind of the same thing with rushing. But I think at the end of the day, the most important thing here is Agustin Ramirez. Agustin, don't eat all the chocolate, eat the baseball. That he is our top boy for him. Speaking of, by the way, if you guys want some great memorabilia, we've always got you covered. And all you've got to do is like the channel. We had Callie, our producer, put up here, hey, remember to like the stream. Well, guess what? When you like the stream and you follow us and you drop comments, you can win amazing stuff. Like your chance to win an autographed Jose Ramirez Guardians jersey for free. And guess what? He dropped a homer today, courtesy of our friends over at pristineauction.com. All you got to do is subscribe to this Fantasy Pros MLB YouTube channel right now. Drop a comment in here. You could be asking a question. And guess what? You are locked in. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel. So make sure to turn on notifications. So not only can you see our new videos, but you might see that you're the winner of this amazing Jose Ramirez autographed jersey. As I said, one of the few players, I have no Jose Ramirez autographs around here. I got cards and balls and bats. I got nothing. And you could get that Jose Ramirez autograph jersey, which I think would be pretty cool. All right, let's get back to the questions. Bizza Rizza Jizza. Welsh, Lawlar or Kurtz rest of season in redraft? Lawlar is sitting again tonight. So you are also welcome to answer this question, even though it was put to me. I am going to go with Nick Kurtz, even though Kurtz was at 9. I think I've been pretty transparent about this. Like, I think Lawlar is a guy you should potentially pick up. He's going to play, I believe he'll play 4 or 5 days a week. But like, is that going to help? Is he going to be able to get going? He's always going to hit at the bottom of the lineup. I think Kurtz is a guy that could move up this lineup. And dude's hitting 280. Strikeout problems be damned. He's hitting 280. Got a homer. Big barrel, big hard hit numbers. Like, there's a lot to like. If you just don't look at his strikeout numbers, you would think Nick Kurtz is having a pretty fantastic start to his major league career.
Yeah, I think it's just an adjustment. Like, he hasn't been throughout his time in the minors a guy that has a huge strikeout rate like this. This is more of an adjustment. And to your point, he hasn't even been struggling with it. Yes, that in and of itself is something that he is struggling with, but 105 WRC plus, 281 batting average, 45 hard hit, 11% barrel, launch angle's good. Like, it's definitely Kurtz for me. And unless there's a major injury to somebody in Arizona, then I don't know that Lawlar's going to just get a full run.
Well, I mean, Ketel Marte dropped another beautiful homer today, but he's not the pillar of health. So there definitely aren't possibilities out there. But again, he's got to supplant, like you have Eugenio Suarez that they like defensively. You've got Geraldo Perdomo, who looks like an all-star, and then you got Ketel Marte. Like, that's a tough path. That's a really, really tough path to get through. That's why I wish they would play him in the outfield. Like, let him work and get some outfield. I just don't. I can't comprehend it. I can't comprehend what the deal is. This is a funny one. Brandon just said, does this channel host the Welsh and Joey P? I'm the Welsh. So yes, it is just not Joey P today. It is our dear friend Joe Orrico. Reminder, even though I'm going to say this again a little bit later, but Monday through Friday, you guys can find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/inthisleague. That's mine. Twitch.tv/fantasypros. Just not MLB, but Fantasy Pros, twitch.tv/fantasypros, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Pizza P and I are live all the time. And then I know it was a complete mental mistake. I swear to God. And then the video within the hour, we are up on YouTube if you can't watch us live. So that's the drill always. Except here's the one lie. Joe Orrico is back tomorrow because Joe Pisapia is on the 2-day IL with a one of those oscopies, if you know what I mean. He's gonna be put under for a little bit. So it'll be Orrico and I. But yes, usually this channel does host the Welsh and Joey P. Michael Jensen's back in the house. I got Herrera and Cal Raleigh. Is rushing worth the pickup now to hold for a position change? I got some back end RPs I could drop. No, I do not think so. Unless it's super deep and these are like nothing burger relievers. But I'll give you a perspective. Because you've got Herrera and you've got Raleigh, I wouldn't want to go and drop, let's say, Chad Green for him because Chad Green might jump into some save opportunities now with Hoffman struggling. But if it's like I mean, I'm just trying to even Justin Slayton. Yeah, maybe I would do that. I'd be comfortable with that, but you don't need 3 catchers on your roster. And we don't know how long it's going to take. And I'm be honest with you, I'm not looking at position eligibility on sites. Is Rushing already an outfielder or is he just a catcher? Because it's going to take him 20 games in the outfield. And I do not know if we're going to get there. What's your take on it?
Well, yeah, it really does depend because I think if you're in a 2-catcher league, obviously like you're set. But if you're in a 1-catcher league and you have both of those guys and you're kind of just switching them in and out, then I would explore a trade, honestly. Like a lot of people send questions and they comment on stuff and they have a catcher on their bench in a 1-catcher league. And even if it's a good catcher, I think it's kind of a misuse of an asset. I think you should try and trade one of them unless it's a 2-catcher league, but Rushing doesn't factor in there for me.
Robert Manzardo just hit his 10th homer today, over under 25 for the season. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go with the over. I'm always a big the Manzalorian fan. Average hasn't quite been there, but dude, that open loft in that right field, it's really great for the home ballpark. Let's see how many of his homers have been at home, by the way. He had only 4. 4 of his 9 have been at home. He's been hitting actually better on the road. That home ballpark kind of screams left-handed home run power. Great barreling, getting the ball in the air. Strikeouts look like they're dipping down a tiny bit. I'm going to go with the over on Manzardo.
I'm taking the over as well. I've been a fan of Manzardo's. I know that they're, the batting average hasn't been that great and the counting stats are kind of whatever. But in terms of just the homers, I think he can hit 30 this year.
I do too. By the way, I got to throw this one out here. My boy Jagan here, sitting Dobbins for versus Tigers today. No, I actually have Dobbins strikeouts as one of my props today. So just want to shout that out that we were doing a breakdown on that other which I talked about that. I think Dobbins is kind of sneaky. Now, maybe this is going to be the game where things are going to get lit, but I'm kind of into Dobbins. If you don't want to mess with the ratios, don't do it. But anything on Dobbins for you?
Not in particular, not an impact guy. Just, I don't think there's much unless you're in a really deep format. I don't think there's much.
I would agree with that. Like there might be better streamers out there in general, but I'm kind of for it today. Robert, would you trade Matt Shaw for Jasson Dominguez in a 12-team head-to-head keeper?
Yeah, I think I would.
I would also do that. I'm a Dominguez fan. The homers are there. Shaw's, doing well in the minors, but he's, still on that kind of struggle. I'm a Jasson Dominguez guy for sure.
I sat Dominguez that one in an NFBC league. I sat him for that 3-homer.
So did Bogman. Bogman was like, he literally just sat him and then he hits the 3 homers and he's like, what am I going to do? So
not a happy camper.
Adam said I'd go over Manzardo at 25 homers, 15 more for the end of the season without any injury seems reasonable. I kind of agree on that. Cody, hey guys, should I keep Sandy for a hopeful trade to a good team or drop him for Kershaw in a head-to-head points league?
I think Sandy's probably more valuable than Kershaw. Kershaw is such a wild card. They kind of both are at this point, but at least Sandy is healthy. He's a lot younger. There's not any of the same kind of injury concerns there. There are different injury concerns to some extent, I guess, but I think it's still Sandy for me.
Still Sandy for me. The rehab start that I saw Kershaw gave up a lot of hard hit balls. He didn't give up a single hit, 18-year-olds, but dude, guys were, when he threw that fastball or they knew that curve was going to cut, they were crushing it right to the wall. Wind was kind of pushing in. It was a really weird day. I just don't know what version of Kershaw we're going to see. I'm stupid. I still think like he might bounce back. I kind of think we might still get a version of Sandy in the second half that we could be proud of, that you could take home to mom. You know what I'm saying? EA, hi guys. Would you drop Austin Hayes for Rushing?
No.
I might. I'm not. Are you locked to Austin Hayes?
I like Austin Hayes. It depends on who your catcher is, but if you're talking like a 12-team league, like is Rushing a top? Where would you put him in overall catcher rankings? 15 to 20 kind of range, something like that.
I mean, if he played every single day, yeah, maybe in that range. But he's also like, what if he also just plays outfield? And I mean, to be fair, like Austin Hayes, even though with some of the injuries, he's been consistent. He's hitting 300, but there's a lot of guys that can take away playing time. I probably wouldn't immediately make that move, but I would be on the lookout to make it if it looks like they're going to play Rushing every day and not do the Torey Lovello like Jordan Lawlar is going to do it, and then never play him. So stupid. Mike said, should I drop Cedric Mullins for Max Kepler or Lourdes Gurriel?
I'm kind of a sucker for Gurriel. I know he hasn't had the greatest season so far, but he always ends up with like a 270 batting average, 20-something homers, great lineup around him. I think it's Gurriel for me.
It's Gurriel for me too. By the way, you remember how insane Mullin was at the beginning of the year? And I just multiple people like, whoa, what about Mullin? Well, it's hitting 222 now. So it's just like, like there's skills and stuff like that. And I do see some improvements a little bit on the underlying stuff, but never believed in Cedric Mullins. And he is actually still overperforming. He's hitting 222. He is overperforming against fastball still, which is crazy. So there's still some maybe worrisome regression type of things, but he has made more zone contact. He's pulling the ever living crap out of the ball, but I'll go with Lourdes on that one. Lourdes would be my pick. Friends, you can manage your baseball lineups and dominate your leagues with My Playbook right here from Fantasy Pros. My Playbook is a suite of powerful tools to help you make better decisions, manage your lineups, and win your leagues. You can import your team to get custom fantasy baseball news, rankings, and analysis. So sync your leagues today at fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook. You can download the Fantasy Baseball My Playbook app. It's like having Joe Orrico at in your palms, at your fingertips. There was another word I couldn't think of, but maybe me or Joe or Joe Pisapia, Joe Orrico. It's like having fantasy analyst right here in your palm and not a gross way. So go and check it out today. fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook. It's a good read right there.
I thought we might have been doing a Kaisertrex read at the end for a second there.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for Joe to get back and then for Joe to do the first Kaisertreck read.
I can't wait until I get to take over in August and get to do them myself. I'm already looking forward to it.
Oh, me too. That's going to be really, really great. 100%. How are we feeling about Ryan Weathers' first two starts being against the Cubbies? What do you think?
Cubbies are pretty solid offense. I like Weathers okay, but that's not a situation where even if he was back and performing pretty well, I don't know that I would start him there, let alone in the first. Like, they're the third best offense in Major League Baseball to this point of the season. I think that's a sit.
I think the first one is definitely a sit too, just to see, you're coming back and what do we have? Are we getting? There was some really intriguing, like Lance Brozdowski, when he was on the Fantasy Fest, to talk about a lot of these Marlins and like, hey, here's some of these changes and here's how these guys can benefit and improve. But also, like, Max Myers kind of like regressed a little bit. We haven't seen maybe what we thought out of Edward Cabrera, and like, what are we going to see out of Ryan Weathers? 21% K percentage last year with lowered walks was great. 3.5 ERA, that was great. But are we going to see a big step up? His sweeper is absolutely dominant, but is he going to throw enough to keep getting to that? Let's sit him on the first one to see if we're wanting to go next. But that's not the team. The Pirates, you'd be like, yes, let's go, but not that one.
Yeah.
Adam said, I didn't start Hoskins today, of course, hitting 292. He can't keep that up, right? Can Hoskins keep up the business?
I was actually looking at his numbers earlier today. The counting stats have been disappointing for sure, but coming into today, he was hitting 270, 123 WRC plus. The hard hit data for Hoskins every year is always good. 11% barrel rate, 47 hard hit. I think that Hoskins is a 25 to 30 home run guy, which he's pretty much always been. So yeah, I like him. I don't think that he's like, if you're in a 10-team league, should he be your first baseman? No, but like 12 teams and deeper, especially if you got those corner infield spots, I like him a lot.
Hoskins 4 for 4 today with 5 RBI, a homer, and now up to 292. Ridiculous. And by the way, shout out to our boy Logan Henderson. 5 innings, 7 strikeouts. He did that over 72 pitches in the 5 innings. The game ended up looking nasty, 9-5, but Henderson only gave up 2 earned runs. Got the win for Logan Henderson. So second career win, kind of getting stuff done as they're moving pieces around. Toby Myers was sent down. And then today we had, who the hell was it? Got put on, Jose Quintana got put on the IL and Myers is back. And Logan Henderson looks like he is solidifying himself a decent spot. It wasn't a save situation, but McGill was also there in the 9th. And then getting back to it, I don't think Rhys Hoskins can continue to maybe at like this level. But I've always been like, if you give me a 260 Rhys Hoskins, I think we're kind of in a whole nother ball game where his value jumps up for sure. Callie said the poll is over on our Willy Adames versus Matt McLain. And would you check this out, Joe? Literal 50%, 50%. It was dead even split. Who would you rather have rest of season, Matt McLain or Willy Adames? We had no definitive choice here, but that also pretty much tells you about like the state of that debate where people are completely torn. And that's why, if you're potentially looking at like buying opportunities, you got to really hope the Matt McLain world of I don't believe in Willy Adames is there for you to go and buy on Adames. So I guess I'm not surprised that it's like dead split.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. They're both, they should both be rostered in every league, I think. If you see them, either of them out there on the wire, people are frustrated. Oh, these have been terrible. Pick them up.
Agreed. This question. Do we see Bubba Chandler next week? Pirates at home all week. Thoughts? My answer is always yes. I said this on leading off today. We have officially entered the only yes zone. Like there's, oh, this guy's doing good. He should call up soon. Oh, this guy has completed these tasks and this makes sense. And then there's now where, yes, always. There's nothing more that I feel like that we can do. He had a bad start last round. This most recent start, which was yesterday, was really good. Yeah, I 100% think, what would that line up to? You could push him maybe to Monday or Tuesday or something like that, and he's still relatively on rotation. I 100% think he should be up. He's a pickup. But what the hell do I know? I keep saying that, and they never bring him up, Joe.
I'm looking at Skeens' call update last year. He made his debut May 11th. So you got to figure that we're in a similar kind of situation with Chandler. It's got to be before the end of the month. I'm not sure if they're going to do it. They'll probably do it for a home start. I'm not looking at the schedule in front of me, but I'd put good money on his major league debut coming before June.
Well, that's what Kyle was saying, was next week you got Pirates are at home. So fantastic time for it.
It should happen. I don't know what they're doing. Like there's certain franchises. I just don't know what is there something that they can gain in terms of like a draft pick from keeping him down or something? I'm not as locked in.
Yeah, there's Super Twos. I think the Super Twos usually line up to like late May or something. It's a evolving date. But nobody cares about that anymore because all these teams buy these players out before you ever get to like some potential Super 2 or weird. It's all arbitration, by the way. Like whatever the terms I use for you guys, it's like arbitrational type of things, or sometimes it's control for the player for a following season and stuff like that. All these teams buy out the good players now. It is, to me, it's all those things are silly. And frankly, I wonder if the CBA after next season even looks at some of that stuff, because it's like, they worked hard to kind of counteract the Super Twos and the qualifying stuff with the whole PPI thing. So, if players start the year, they can get extra rookie picks. At this point with the PPI program and how teams are buying out contract, we should just get rid of this stuff and just make it go by the wayside, because I think it just holds back players stupidly. I don't think that's really the issue. But the Pirates also fired their manager. What the hell are they doing going on? He had a bad start. He should be up very, very soon. The best players get new contracts way before arbitration ever matters. And that's just how the new version of baseball works now. So, Matt D. Someone in my Dynasty League dropped Colt Keith. Should I drop Cade Horton for him? No, I don't have anyone else I could drop.
Kind of depends on the roster construction and what the rest of that staff looks like. But I think Keith is probably the safer asset moving forward, just based on the fact that Horton's a pitcher, and we kind of know that there's going to be a time with pretty much all these guys where they have to miss a couple of years or at least a year for some kind of arm injury. I know I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but that's just, if you're looking ahead for a couple of years for pitchers versus hitters are safer, and Keith looks pretty good last year. He's looking good this year. Welsh is definitely more locked into prospects, but I think I would go with Keith.
I'm gonna stay with Horton. I'm not gonna make that move. There are definitely some stuff where Keith looks like he can get back into a bounce back territory. Pitchers are super dicey, but I think Cade Horton has got the stuff to be, at worst, a middle line starter. At best, maybe he jumps into being like some type of number 2. Maybe not on this team at the end of the day, but I like Cade Horton's prospects better than Colt Keith right now. But also, maybe what's your valuation of what you need? You need pitchers. You need hitters. What type of form, like there are other circumstances here. But I lean Horton, you lean Keith. I bet.
Listen to Welsh.
But you'd probably also get like similar answers to from a lot of different people. The Big Dan, start Aaron Nola tonight. Who the hell are the Phillies going against? Phillies are going against the Cardinals. Cardinals have been pretty damn hot lately. Aaron Nola with his 4.89 ERA going up against Sonny Gray. Is that enough for you to not start Aaron Nola? Maybe is a better question in his struggles.
I think I'd probably sit him in a roto league. If it's a head-to-head, maybe just see where you are in terms of you versus your opponent. But I haven't been terribly impressed with him so far. I don't have any problem sitting him right now. 4.89 ERA. The supporting metrics aren't that great. If you look at the strikeouts and walks, it's not that much different, but a 135 whip as well. He just hasn't been consistent this season. The contact he's allowing is harder than usual. I don't have any problem sitting him. Really, I don't have any problem with either decision. But if it's a roto league, I think I would probably put him on the bench.
If I'm hugging ratios, maybe I might be a little bit more concerned. I'm just not sure at this. I mean, it's Wednesday. I don't know. Maybe you are, but I'm going to lean that I would start him. But if you're babying those ratios, then maybe you should. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's pretty easy. Cardinals have been hot. He has not been good. If you are in a space where you're kind of worried enough about that start, like, do I think he's going to go get obliterated? No, I'm not. I don't think this is an obliteration game. This isn't a Tanner Houck, but could he not give you like a quality start or something? Yeah, sure. That's a possibility. Did you get Houcked?
Oh, I've been Houcked. I've been Houcked a couple times now because look, he was awful. And then look, you're like, okay, he's starting to turn things around. He's got 2 starts this week and then just mushroom cloud over the ratios.
By the way, shout out to our boy Eugenio Suarez, homer today. Looks like he is 2 for 2, 3 RBI. They're going against the Giants. It's the 3rd inning. Diamondbacks are up 6-2 right now. Eugenio on the board. Cattell and Suarez both with homers. Ooh, Corbin Carroll with no hits. Don't like that.
What's going
on?
Give
me my hits, Corbin.
Where are the steals, by the way? Like the shoulder seems fine, but where are he had that 3 stolen base game, and I was like, oh my God, we're getting a 50-50. And now it's like, well, we might get 50 homers, but the steals, man. I'm not complaining because how can you complain about the number 4 overall player? But I built my teams around getting steals from him.
Wouldn't that be crazy if he had more homers than stolen bases at the end of the year?
I think
he's
will.
Tied for the lead. Yeah, he's tied for the lead in homers right now.
14 homers and 5 steals? Like he might.
That's crazy. Sandy or Max Meyer from Otis?
Max Meyer, I think. Not married to either at this point. Not married.
What's Sandy? Sandy long term. It's a hard one. Okay. Robert, are Adolis Garcia and Royce Lewis a drop at this point? Rushing and Chandler are both available.
Ooh. I mean, with Royce Lewis, we're talking about like 20 at bats. I don't want to. While he's healthy, I'm still starting him.
Yeah, he sucks right now, but it is very short sample size. Adolis is hitting 221, 5 homers, 5 stolen bases. A lot of profile still looks really good, but he has not come out of that slump which many Rangers either has Simeon.
If you're really desperate for pitching, if you've just taken a bunch of injuries and you're getting blown up all over the place, maybe for Chandler, maybe you drop Garcia for Chandler, but I feel like we always get married to these prospects and everybody's asking rushing questions and everybody's going to ask Chandler and Zebby Matthews questions. But I think a lot of the time the production isn't what the hype is telling you it should be.
I want to pick up Bubba Chandler. So you you tell me your positional stuff. Like I think Royce Lewis can be expendable. We know what he can be. He can be electric, big power, but his average dipped last year. He's not hitting again. He's injury prone. I think I might be more likely to cut Royce Lewis than I am Adolis. So you got to cut one of them. You tell me your positional stuff and then make that move for Bubba Chandler. That's what I'm doing.
That's fair.
Okay. As I mentioned before, just one more reminder, Fantasy Pros is live on Twitch, twitch.tv/FantasyPros. Look at me and Joe. We look so happy every day, 12 p.m. Eastern. We're on Twitch and we're screaming like this, having a great time, not always dressed the same. 12 p.m. Eastern, your daily dose of fantasy baseball news, insight, strategy. You guys can ask questions just like we do here. You can get insight, interact live. Follow us for this show and many others. Twitch.tv/FantasyPros so you never miss a stream. A bigger lineup of exclusive, interactive, live content. It's on the way. Twitch.tv/FantasyPros. But of course, we're always still here on the YouTube. It's just the daily show live there. Then it comes to YouTube for the non-livers. And then, boom, we're here Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, every single week for an hour answering your questions. Let's get this out of the way real quick. And then we're going to go into a lightning round of fantasy players. Joe, the Peanuts or Cracker Jacks were out for blood today over your Pete Rose take. So I know what Callie's talking about. I only saw one person who was really going in on you on here. Joe and I talked about it on Leading Off. If you guys want, I guess I could briefly mention my take on it. Joe and I at the end of Leading Off today talked about our take on Rob Manfred's decision to essentially, once these guys are dead, he just lifts the ban and then they're eligible and they'll leave it up to the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. I might have saw you doing probably what you shouldn't be doing, Joe, getting into the intertwines of the Twitter and internet arguing and stuff like that. You ruffled some Twitter feathers, but those feathers, I guess, came over to leading off. So what is your take that's got everybody so hot?
First, I'm kind of curious. What was this guy Was the guy calling for my job, calling for my life? What were we
No. Just it was like they didn't like your take. It was nothing what Twitter did. I saw the Twitter ones. It wasn't those.
I appreciate the laughs, everybody. First off, but with Pete Rose, he cheated the game in the worst way you possibly could. We take his word that he only bet on games as a player as a player and manager for his team. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Something that he never admitted to until he could turn a buck off of it 15 years later when he wrote a book about it. There are also some heinous things that Pete Rose did off the field, which for me, that's the disqualifying factor. When you add that in with the gambling, we do not need to put a plaque in the Hall of Fame that honors Pete Rose. There are already many exhibits in the Hall of Fame museum, and this is the difference, right? There is a museum of baseball history. Chris Towers posted something about this earlier. There are pictures of Pete Rose. There are jerseys. There are bats. There are gloves. There are balls. Everybody knows he's a hit leader. Nobody's going to forget that. That doesn't mean we need to celebrate him with a plaque, considering the damage he did to baseball and the damage he's done off the field. I personally will live and die with that opinion. I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame, especially not because I'm not a big steroid guy. I'm one of the younger guys in the industry. I wasn't married to Bond, Sosa, and these guys. But Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame before Pete Rose is in the Hall of Fame. That, for me, is without a doubt. And to say that the lifetime ban is just over when you die, I think is ridiculous, just passing the buck by Manfred. So if people want to yell at me, they are more people have been yelling at me for 24 hours. They're more than happy to do so. In my opinion, Pete Rose does not belong in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm different on it. I gotta be honest with you, I didn't really know some of the things that popped out of the outside of baseball things of Pete Rose.
Pretty terrible.
To come back to, I think it's a really messy situation because if I would also definitely not trying to argue the point because I am the least carry of Hall of Fame because I think we get like the bar keeps changing of like the type of player 25 years ago that got into the Hall of Fame. That player is that if that same statistical player nowadays, they're not getting in. You know what I mean? Like I want to say people had brought up like it's like Harold Baines or whatever. Like there are some players statistically, it takes so much more. So the line keeps changing and it gets kind of silly and stuff like that. But I think where people come at you a little bit is when you say the line of like he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. If you only look at him statistically, I would disagree with that. Statistically, he should be in the Hall of Fame. And there are probably a bunch of POSs that are in the Hall of Fame that did bad stuff. And if there's a line of what they did off the field and on the field, then I think that makes sense. If there's not, it doesn't. But I don't really care either way. My only thing that I took away from it was Rob Manfred's idea that it's like once they're dead, we'll do that. That's like that's a silly take. The whole idea of like, well, we'll now celebrate them when they're dead and buried in 6 feet under. It's like, well, just do or don't. But at the end of the day, I'm the least carry of all this stuff. I let that for the Joes, the Pisapias and the Orricos to have it. But it had a lot of elicited stuff. And I think at the end of the day, like if you only looked at him statistically, it's kind of a no-brainer. He is beyond the steroid thing because Van Rod had said like, well, if Pete Rose gets in the Hall of Fame, I don't want to hear about the steroid stuff, which like, yeah, I kind of agree with that because it's like he has a step further. He also cheated the game. And then there's some obvious public things that were off the field that make him awful as well. But like cheating the game has been the line. It's squirrely and tough, but I don't know why people came at you so hard. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion on it. This is just a bad one. I think that baseball presented to us, and it was presented around like once they're dead. And that's literally my only take was like, I mean, if you're going to celebrate them at any point, just do it. Don't just let them die.
My account, for whatever reason, that's prone to attracting certain types of people for whatever reason. My last thing I'll say on it is I'm not arguing against him statistically. I think statistically, yes, Pete Rose, the numbers indicate that he is a Hall of Famer. But there is also a character clause. If they want to get rid of the character clause, then get rid of it, and then we won't think about that anymore. But that is a part of the Hall of Fame, that there is a character clause. Now, if there are people in there who are bad guys, does that mean that 2 wrongs make a right now all of a sudden? Because I was there for that day in 3rd grade when they taught that lesson. So I don't understand. Well, this guy was a bad guy, so then we have to give this other bad guy the same. I don't know. If you read up about Ty Cobb too, some people are mentioning Ty Cobb in the chat. A lot of history has a lot of what people believe about Ty Cobb has kind of been, broken telephone through history. He wasn't as bad of a person as people think. At the same time, if any of these people are, any of the stuff that I don't want to even talk about it. If you look up the stuff with Pete Rose, you can see the stuff that he admitted to doing. And I think that is disqualifying from the Hall.
Yeah, well, and I'll say this, like Nova's like, give me a break, Chris. You didn't. I didn't. I'm literally learning about the very specific awful thing that people are talking about off the field. I didn't, because again.
A lot of people didn't. When I told my dad about it, when it first happened, my dad, growing up watching Pete Rose, he was like, are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, no. I sent him the link to the article. It's really, really, really bad. But
yeah, I don't get into the weeds of, like, especially for people that are going to do their research of why and why not. But hey, at the end of the day, like, I just thought it was a weird stance. You can have your arguments of does he belong, does he not belong, all that type of stuff. But yeah, you got people riled up, and apparently we got people riled up. So
statistically, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's also not. And the last thing I'll say is that I saw a lot of people saying Pete Rose is the greatest player to ever play baseball. I saw a ton of that yesterday. Absolutely absurd. His OPS for his career was 784.
That's Barry Bonds.
He had 160 homers. I think the best player, it's probably Bonds. Maybe it's Ruth. Maybe it's Ohtani, but it's not Pete Rose.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Nova, that I'm so stupid and I didn't know all the things that everybody knows. But all right, let's get off of that. Thank you. Callie wanted to do this, by the way. Callie wanted to talk about this. I'm blaming of this on Callie. This is all Callie's fault. He wanted to talk about it because apparently Joe got everybody riled up. Let's get back to the questions here. Could you rank Rasmussen, Reese Olson, Sagano, and Boz in head-to-head categories? Need to pick up just one.
If it's just one, I think for me, it's probably Drew Rasmussen.
I agree with you on that. Sagano, I think, is a regression candidate. Boz has the highest upside of all the players, but he's been kind of rough right now. Robert, ETA for Painter. I think they've told us that it would be between June and July. He's already at AAA, which I think is really encouraging. They're baby slowing him. I think June is a definite possibility. I'm kind of forgetting right now if they said like he was going to be up, mid-June or not. But I legitimately think like the start of June or whatever is like the beginning stages of that. So, if you got a really hyper aggressive league, like I guess I probably wouldn't want to hold on to him for like a month. But if you've got an NA spot to do it, hell yeah. Otherwise, right around the end of May, lock in, because Andrew Painter is going to be a freaking beast when he's out there.
Yeah, I'm just looking. So he was in single A, and then on May 8th, he made a 3-inning appearance in AAA, 3 clean innings, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. But I think that he'll be up in the midsummer at some point. But if you have a free spot, are you stashing him or Zebby right now? Probably Zebby, I guess, right?
Ooh, a lot of Zebby questions in there too. Yeah. I would go Zebs. The Zebby of Matthews. All right, let's try to hit some lightning round on these. It's not going to be super easy, but we're going to try to hit a lightning round on most of these, and we'll try to get to a bunch of questions. Nick, last name is Mattingly. Problems. Nola or Butler, or would you trade Nola for Butler? Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Hell yes. As long as the last name wasn't Rose. Second base is so bad. We got Luis Garcia in that spot. Who's a reasonable corner infield trade option for him? Oh God. I mean, probably like Nate Lowe's of the world, right? I don't think you can expect much.
It's so open-ended. Yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah.
You gotta pick one.
I don't even know, man.
Pick it.
I don't know. Welsh. You decide this one. You decide this one.
I did. I said I was like Nate Lowe. That's like what you can get.
Yeah, I guess that's. I guess it's Nate Lowe. It's just open-ended question. It's so.
I know. Lightning round's not good for open-ended. Christian Campbell or Jackson Holiday?
Christian Campbell. I like Holiday a lot though.
Yes, sir. By the way, rushing is catcher outfield eligible for ESPN. I dropped him for Hayes, who is slumping. Okay move. I say it's okay, but Joe didn't love that.
I prefer Hayes. I think he's probably going to have more playing time, but it's not a crazy move. If rushing, I didn't realize he was outfield eligible already on ESPN. God bless ESPN. But I guess in that move, it's not such a crazy thing to do.
Pick up Goodman and drop Agustin.
I would understand it, but I'd personally prefer Agustin.
I agree. A lot of catcher stuff. I got both Yanier and William Contreras. Who are you trading?
You're not going to get much for Diaz.
Well, Diaz is starting to pick it back up a little bit. I think I might trade Contreras. Yeah.
If Contreras was so expensive, I would want to get a top 50, 60 player back for him, ideally, if you're going to do that.
I mean, if you can do it, great. But I think I would try to get a haul for Contreras, and Yanier's picked it up a little bit as of recent. Ryan McMahon or Michael Garcia at third?
Michael Garcia for me.
I'll go with Michael as well. Jacob Wilson in categories. Can he be, I'll create the question. Can Jacob Wilson be a top 15 shortstop in a categories-based league?
Absolutely. I think he can be a top 15 shortstop. The power has been much more than we ever could have hoped for. He can get to 15 homers, 5 steals, and hit 330. I think I guess the math is kind of odd depending on. No, I think 15. I think he's pretty easily in the top 15, actually, now that I think about it, especially if he keeps up that batting average. If he's in the 320, 330 range, I think he is.
I mean, he's easy because it's like the power is really hard to project and stuff like that. Like, would you rather have Jeremy Pena or him?
I would take Pena, but let me see where he is right now.
I think Pena is probably like 12 or 13 or something like that. By the way,
Wilson's fourth. Wilson's only shortstops who have been more valuable this season are Witt, Dela Cruz, and Lindor. Wilson is fourth on the player rater. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Batting average, I feel like, and sometimes in those algorithms overinflate players a little bit. Yahoo used to do that a lot, where it's like you would look and it's like that. I actually did this episode a long time ago. Were you looking at Yahoo, by the way, or were you looking at Fantasy Pros?
I'm looking at the Fangraphs player rater for that one.
Okay. Like the algorithm that like Yahoo created in as far as like their player rankings and stuff, like whether it was basketball or baseball, there's always like a stat or two that gets more heavily weighted, and batting average is something that gets like really weighted in Yahoo, and where it can kind of overflate their value by their rank. So just putting that out there. Looking for a DH. Who should I pick up? Steer, Garcia, or Crybaby Wilmer Flores?
He'll never get it. He'll never live that down. Probably Steer. I think it's probably Steer.
I would say Steer. Yeah. I've got to sit Adley. He's too cold. Herrera, Langoliers, or Yanier?
I would probably go with Herrera, but I would say with Adley because I've been a little bit concerned myself. I have him in a couple leagues where he's been disappointing. He's a great buy low because everything below the surface looks really, really good for him. The barrel rate is higher than it's ever been. Hard hit is still good. I mean, he's only striking out 15% of the time. Walk rate is up. Like, I know it's been bad, but for me, he's a huge buy low right now.
Yeah, I'm cool with the buy low. I would say Yanier is my choice, but Herrera is right there as well. So either one of those guys. Who's a better stash this year, Zebby or Jared Jones? I think we both say Zebby at this point.
Zebby. Who knows if Jared Jones is even going to pitch this year?
Yeah, we don't know what the hell's going on with at all. Yuri Perez or Ryan Weathers. Perez is probably still a couple weeks away, but I think I would go with Yuri.
I would take Yuri, even if you're getting 3 or 4 fewer starts from him. He's top 10 dynasty pitcher, I think. Yeah. Is he still top 10 dynasty pitcher?
I moved him. He's like at the back end of the 100. So no, it's probably not there, but like 15 to 20. He's like one of the youngest out there, but the arm injury leads some questions. So it's close. Who wins a trade? Nola Butler for Pablo Lopez McLain. Nola Butler to me.
I might go with the Pablo side. Okay. It's great. I think the value is fairly even, but Pablo's been great. I believe in McLain. The only one I don't really love there is Nola, but even Nola's not like Nola's still a serviceable guy. It's just I would slightly lean Pablo there, but it's not crazy.
Matt McLain's just a nothing burger to me, so it's like I love Butler, and I think Nola's going to bounce back some. So, should I drop Leiter for Logan Henderson? Logan looked nice, and Leiters look like a sheet in the wind. Ooh, this is like a Joe Pisapia question. Joe would laugh in your face at how much you should do this, but I also agree. I would Logan Henderson over Leiter right now.
Logan Henderson's going to be expensive in fab on the weekend, man. Holy crap. Yeah.
Does he stay up? Kind of seems like he's got an opportunity. The rotate. We did a decent amount on leading off today. Like, yeah, I think this start all but kind of helps the cause for Logan Henderson to stay up.
Yeah, the guys they're throwing out there, their rotation is for the guys that are still healthy. You have to check every 10 minutes to see if there's no injury, but they're rolling out some not great options. I mean, Quinn Priester, how long does Quinn Priester have left?
Yeah, Chad Patrick, Quinn Priester, like, no thanks.
Kobe Myers. Yeah.
No, thank you. Jason Vargas, former pitcher with the Mets. No. But Jason said, remember Jason Vargas?
I do remember Jason,
like
the Vargas rule. That was where Nick got the Vargas rule thing from, right?
Yeah. I don't remember what the Vargas rule is, but I remember hearing that term.
It's like a crappy pitcher who you just keep starting until they give you a reason not to start them or something like that. I can't remember. There's a whole gloss where he's got so many.
Well, this is not that Jason Vargas, but it just had vibes to remember. Do we think Ramirez back to being the guy after his save? So there's been a little bit shaky over there. Are you an Alvarado or Romano guy?
I picked up Romano in my home league because I just needed some extra save help, but I think it's probably still Alvarado. There'll probably be some kind of committee approach to it with them being lefty and righties respectively. But I would think that Alvarado probably gets more saves rest of the season.
Look at this report. Should have hit me up. Chris said he went to Salt River Fields today to watch J-Mart of the D-backs. Justin Martinez pitched to live pitchers. He looked good, but not great. Looked healthy. Pitched about 25 pitches to 2 hitters. No return date yet. Very nice. That's he's doing my job. Well, we'll take another Chris out there. 100%. Let's do that. Jake Berger, Javi Baez, rest of season.
Oh, man.
Lightning round.
Probably Berger. Sorry. I
Berger. Drop Christian Walker for Josh Smith. Points.
No, I couldn't do it.
I can't do that either. That one hurts me. Will Drake Baldwin end up being a top 10 catcher?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe in real life, not in fantasy.
Yeah.
Is Jason Dominguez droppable? Maybe.
I wouldn't.
10 team, but I wouldn't.
Shallow leagues, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, Roki Sasaki, a keeper in a 10-team dynasty.
Depends on the keepers and everything.
How many?
But
10. But 10 team? But he didn't say how many keepers in that, just a 10-team dynasty.
I think you should keep him. I think it would be a mistake to not. You probably just use your 101 first-year player draft pick on him to drop him after a month and a half. I think that's be short-sighted.
Yeah. Someone dropped Altuve in my 10-man. Drop Campbell for him.
Man, it probably works out, but I would look for a different drop if possible.
Let's see. I'm going to just randomly pick a couple more in here if I can. Free Jumbo Jacks for D-backs fans today. By the way, they have put up 8 in 4 innings. Eugenio is back up, and I had Corbin Carroll total bases on the bets today, so I need that to happen. And then I had Yankees money line in the first 5. So if we're looking at some of those bets, Diamondbacks are putting up runs. Eugenio's already got 3 RBI. Cattell has got 3 RBI. He actually just hit his 2nd homer as well. Yeah, you love to see it. Lots of chatter in here about the Rose thing and the steroid era and all of it, and I totally understand it. You always forget sometimes how there are some things even in sports that elicit beyond just normal back and forth of oh, your team sucks and your team sucks. There's just there's these really big, inherently debatable, crazy things. And that's definitely one of them. But at least for the most part, everybody seems relatively respectable in it. But I understand why it elicits so many things, because there's off the field things, there's cheating allegations, to steroids, to how baseball treats it. And at the end of the day, I kind of think this is the last thing on. I think baseball has kind of created a lot of this problem. Rob Manfred creates this problem by let's be definitive. Let's pick a decision and let's stick with it. And let's not be wishy-washy about it. And things continue to be wishy-washy. Leave it up to the writers about the steroid era, but these players are banned and nope, now they're not banned. And it creates a really wonky thing. But remember, at the end of the day, we all do love baseball. Even if you don't love Joe or love me, or love Pizza Pia. We all love baseball, and that is why we are all here together. Mr. Joe Rico on Twitter, Joe Rico99. You can find me at Is It the Welsh. Joe, we are not going to talk about that tomorrow, but are you excited to talk about maybe Diamondbacks and more and all that fun stuff? We haven't had you on leading off. I guess you were here a couple weeks ago when I was out.
Yeah, I did a week's worth of shows for Joe, and I did one for you. I love leading off. Leading off, it feels like a part of me at this point. So I love to be back on the show. We're going to do tomorrow, and then it'll probably be a while until you see me on there again, but I'm really looking forward to it, man.
Don't worry about that. Pizza Pia's going to take some time off. I probably need to take some time off. Joe is our number 1 pinch hitter. He's kind of a Jordan, not quite a Jordan Lawlar, but we're going to get him in and he'll get into some episodes. Hey, whether they were positive or negative or whatever it is, if you made comments today and you were subscribed to this YouTube channel, well, guess what? You have an opportunity to win that Jose Ramirez autograph jersey, courtesy of our friends over at Pristine Auction. And here's the other cool thing. It could be any of this stuff. It could be any of the videos we've done this month. It all hooks you up. So like the channel, make a comment on any of the videos this month. You can make it super easy on yourself and just be subscribed and win this thing. I want to announce the winner of somebody I know in the chat. I want to see one of your names that are here right now win this jersey. We'll do it at the end of the month. It's cool opportunities. So go and lock it in, my friends. Thank you to Callie for rocking all the stuff. We had a couple polls. There's a Pete Rose poll on there that you guys can check out. We also had the Willy Adamas Matt McLain one. We had a ton of fun. You guys rock. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us. And we will see you live on Twitch or right here on the Fantasy Pros MLB YouTube channel. For Joe Orrico, I'm Chris Welsh. You guys have a fantastic one. Peace out for now. Bye-bye.
I always get myself in trouble, don't I?
You like to get in trouble. You're kind of a troublemaker.
Oh, yeah. That's why they like me. That's why you guys like me, right?
That's why we do. Just not everybody.
Oh, no. Can't be for everybody.
Me too.